Blackmail won't work this time, Harry. You got to apologize for everything you have done. Harry seems to believe that he can use the invisible children to make his father do whatever he wants, but the king is staying strong and insisting that Harry needs to apologize.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the King YouTube channel.
No matter how we may feel about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, I think we can all agree that it really is a sad situation that we're seeing right now between them and the royal family. I mean, even when a couple of people are as odious as Harry and Meghan are, it still is a sad thing to see when a family is broken apart like the royal family has been, thanks to the behavior of Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan, ever since Megxit, have been relentless in their attacks on the British monarchy and the royal family. Now, they claim that they just needed to get their side of the story out there, but we don't believe that for a second. This was a carefully orchestrated and planned attack on the monarchy, an attempt to bring it down, if you will. Well, obviously, they have failed. In spite of all the nasty accusations that Harry and Meghan have hurled at the royal family has mostly stayed silent. They have maintained their dignity. Now, the one thing that King Charles did, though, was kick them out of Frogmore Cottage. We are never going to know for sure if Harry and Meghan being evicted from Frogmore was a direct result of the publication of Spare, or if it was just already on the King's to-do list. But the timing is a little more than coincidental, if you ask me. So Spare was released in January, and then by February, apparently Harry and Meghan were informed that they needed to get out. And by March, we learned the news that they had in fact been evicted. Before he actually became king, then Prince Charles talked a lot about how he wanted to slim down the monarchy. He made it clear that he really wanted to cut down on the royal family's expenses, and I'm sure that included not maintaining a home in which two people never spent any time. It really didn't make sense for Harry and Meghan to hang on to Frogmore Cottage because after Brexit, they barely ever spent any time there. They never come back to the UK. They hate the royal family. There are no signs that things are going to get better between Harry and Meghan and the rest of the family, so why should they hold on to this property? And at that time, according to reports, of course, King Charles was still trying to get Andrew out of Royal Lodge, so he was considering moving Andrew to Frogmore Cottage instead. At this point in time, of course, it looks like Andrew is going to stay put in Royal Lodge with Fergie, which is fair because it is what the Lake Queen wanted after all. But that still did not mean that Harry and Meghan got to hold on to Frogmore. That eviction still happened, and by summer they were out. And reportedly, when Harry learned that he was expected to leave Frogmore Cottage, Harry said, "Oh, doesn't the king want to see his grandchildren? Oh, yeah, he went there." I mean, what an entitled brat, using those invisible children as a way to try to force the king into giving him exactly what he wants. Well, obviously, it didn't work. Another thing we need to remember is that this information came from Omid Scobie, Meghan and Harry's favorite mouthpiece. So most likely that is exactly what Harry told his father. Now I'm not sure why Scobie included that in the book. It was only going to make Harry look bad. I thought that he was trying to portray the two of them as absolute angels, but anyway, he still included it. And so now we know what a spoiled brat Harry really is. It takes a very low down person to use children as pawns to try to get back at somebody, but that's exactly what Harry and Meghan have done with these invisible children. Royal commentator Michael Cole has also weighed in on this issue. He told GB News, "Well, the fact is, he has not seen his grandchildren. He has hardly seen Prince Archie, and I am not sure he has even seen Princess Lilibet more than once. It is a very sad state of affairs." I agree with Michael 100%. And not only is it wrong for Harry to use the children like this, but it's not even going to work because the king has no relationship with these children. First of all, you know my position. I am still not convinced those kids are real and really live with Harry and Meghan. But anyway, assuming they are, the king doesn't even know them. How does Harry think that's going to work to hold them over his head, dangle them like some kind of carrot in front of his nose? The only thing Meghan and Harry have succeeded in doing is making themselves appear even pettier and more spoiled than usual. As Michael says, they are spoiled, they have an agenda. That agenda is very unhelpful and hurtful to his family. And again, he hit the nail on the head. Why does Harry think that he's going to get his way by hurting his family? Instead, he's just making the distance even more difficult to overcome. At this point, it has become clear that Harry wants to come back to the UK. He wants to spend more time with his family. But unfortunately, he is going about it all the wrong way. Angela Levin, the royal expert, has also weighed in on this, and she says that Prince Harry needs to suck it up and he needs to say sorry. Ms. Levin said, He's got to apologize hugely, and he's also got to compromise. He won't compromise. He keeps saying he wants the king and Prince William to apologize for things going right back to childhood when William got 5 sausages and he got 4. It's that sort of pettiness, as well as him feeling very badly dealt with. If he wants to bring back a family argument, you have to spend time. You can't rush here, spend half an hour, and then rush away. It takes weeks, months even. Of course, he's very much under Meghan's thumb, and he will listen to what she says. And see, that right there is why I don't see any chance of peace happening anytime soon. As long as Harry is married to Meghan, he is under her control. That's the only way it can be with her. And as long as she's got him brainwashed, there's no way he's going to be able to compromise with his family or even apologize. Angela Levin is also making a very good point here about that Harry needs to put more time into this. I mean, if he really wants to reconcile with his family, he's got to spend time with them. But he hasn't done that. For his father's coronation, he flew in, he flew out, and that's the last time that he really spent any time with his family at all. When he came in September, remember, the king didn't want to see him. He said that he was too busy. But again, I do not believe the king is at fault here. This is absolutely Harry's problem. If Harry were to start to try to reestablish a relationship with King Charles, I think that it could happen. But he would have to start slowly, and he would have to go in and act humble, not be so arrogant all the time. But I don't know if he can do that. Harry also seems to have a lot of difficulty admitting that he was wrong and saying sorry. But in this situation, he is the one who has to apologize. The royal family has not done anything wrong. That was what was so ridiculous about Harry's book Spare. I mean, he really thought that we were all going to be on his side after Spare. He thought he was going to convince us that he had been so mistreated. But then we read that William got the bigger bedroom, that William got 5 sausages and he got 4. And our response was just to roll our eyes. I mean, what stupid, petty complaints. Clearly, he doesn't have anything legitimate if this is what he thought to include in his book. Okay, so let's just say, for argument's sake, the kids are real. They really did come from Meghan Markle's body. Harry is the father, and they really do live with them in Montecito. Using the children as a way to make the king give in to their demands is about the stupidest plan I have ever heard. Number one, the king already has 3 beautiful grandchildren he gets to spend time with on a regular basis. And their parents are not such pains in the asses like Harry and Meghan are. So why is the king going to bend over backwards for these children he doesn't even know? And another problem with using the children in this way is that it hurts the kids more than anybody else. Harry and Meghan are just making themselves look like the worst parents in the world for alienating their children from their extended family, especially considering that their extended family is the British royal family. I mean, it's stuff like this that makes me hope the kids are not real, because how much are they going to hate their parents when they get old enough to realize that they could have attended a literal coronation for their king grandfather, but they didn't get to participate because their mother is such an evil narcissist she cannot get along with anybody. It's a new year, and I really hope that Harry is thinking long and hard about what has gone wrong in the past, and maybe he's willing to make some changes in his life. Maybe 2024 is finally going to be the year that we see him apologize to his family and try to make things right. But again, if that's going to happen, first step is leave Meghan Markle. And what about you? Do you think that Harry is going to be able to discover humility and finally suck it up and apologize to his family for all the wrong things he and Meghan have done? Or do you think they're going to keep at it with the threats and the blackmail to try to get the family to give in? Please let me know what you think below in the comments section. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to like and share it with anybody else who would appreciate it too.
And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.